the song with your heart. Play the song with your heart.
At one time. What is good, YouTube? This is your boy Aaron.
It's Brian. Salute.
And this is the Courtside View podcast, and we are back today. Before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell. I know we have a lot of new viewers, so check out the video, and if you like it, make sure to subscribe and help us out, because we definitely want to continue doing this for the immediate future, and so please help us out, and yeah, let's get to this video. In the year, I was thinking about talking about it, but I need to gather more information. But in terms of who would I want, Jayden Daniels or Drake Maye for this organization, and right now, like, this is just a preview of what I'll probably say maybe later in the months, later in the years, whatever. But in terms of Drake Maye, I wouldn't want him to be in this situation. He needs to be in a situation where they have dudes that are veteran, that been in the league for a minute, that have some, credentials of winning organizations that can help him develop. I don't think Drake Maye would thrive in something like this. I really don't. And I'm a Drake Maye guy. Like, that's my, honestly, after Caleb, that's my guy.
Not to me.
But Jayden Daniels, I feel like Jayden Daniels. Now, the argument is, well, he doesn't throw in the middle of the field. But I think with
That's because of scheme.
But I think with Jayden Daniels, though, because he's lightning fast and he's so great with utilizing his legs, which a Cliff
needs to slide.
With the Cliff Kingsbury system.
I mean, Drake Maye runs too, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that.
Plus, he's
special,
like stockier.
Yeah, but he's like a Josh Allen, a Justin Herbert, which is cool. But in an offense like a Cliff Kingsbury, I think with Jayden Daniels and his electrifying just quickness and speed, because the offensive line is just so bad for the Commanders, I think he can overcome an offensive line more so than a Drake Maye, who can scramble. He can run a little bit, but he's like a 4.7, 4.8-ish type of guy. But Jayden Daniels, he look like a 4.3, 4.4 type of guy, and he can evade.
I don't think he's that fast.
What? I think he's pretty fast.
I gotta watch
I think he's
film.
like 4.4. I think he's like 4.4, bro. I think he's a 4.4 dude. I just
don't like how skinny he is
I
and
don't
how
like
many
it
hits
either.
he takes.
But Lamar Jackson, I mean, he was
That
really
is
skinny
true.
coming
I mean,
out.
Lamar has injury history, though.
He does,
But that's mostly because his line was garbage.
But you'll take Lamar Jackson, won't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
So exactly, I'm not saying that.
Not in the playoffs, though. But
Well, I mean, he made the AFC Championship game, so I think Commanders fans will take that all day, every day.
Yeah.
But regardless, I just think when it comes to a QB prospect, you have to look at it from the standpoint of, okay, what's the scheme? What are the pieces around him right now, and how can?
I mean, you're also. I like Jayden. I think Jayden Daniels is QB2 so far for me. But you also, I mean, he had Malik Neighbors, and he also had Brian Thomas Jr.
He did, but
he had no run game.
He ain't had no run game.
But who did Drake Maye have at receiver?
He had Devontae Walker, who he might go in the third round this year. Third, maybe.
I've seen Dane. Oh, it was either. I think it might have been Jeremiah.
He had Josh Downs the previous year. That's
I think,
about it.
Who's the draft scout? Is Daniel Jeremiah? I think he had his. I think either him or Dane Brugler released their top 100, and I believe Malik Neighbors was third, right behind Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's a substantial drop from as far as talent at the receiver position.
Oh yeah, but I just think
here's what I think between the whole Drake Maye and JD5 argument. I think if you have time to develop a QB, you would obviously go Drake Maye.
Yeah.
But if you want a guy that's like because Jayden Daniels is older.
On the ground running. He's like 23. That's not terrible.
He played all 5. I think he played 4 or 5 years in college.
Something like that. He's
old. He's a little more experienced. He looks more polished in the pocket.
He does.
His mechanics are more fluid, in my opinion.
He's I'll say this though with Jayden Daniels is that when it comes to anticipatory throws, he's better at that than I would say Drake Maye, because I'll be watching Drake Maye and like some of these guys will break down and it's like Drake Maye's arm is so great that he
can
could be a tad
yeah.
late, and because his arm is so elite that he could still squeeze it in there, even
Right.
though he's a tad late. While Jayden Daniels, he has a above average arm, but it's not to the level of that where he has to like really time his throws and stuff like that. And so that's the thing with like you mentioned with Jayden Daniels. Now I'll let you continue.
So if you're a team that needs to like, you have like a win now roster, I would go for a more Jayden Daniels type QB. Like if I was the Falcons in this position, if the Falcons had a top pick, I would easily go Jayden Daniels because that offense is pretty much built to win. Like right now, they have Drake London, they got Bijan, they got Kyle Pitts and things like that. But for the Commanders, I think they have time. I don't think they don't have to win now.
Are you sure? Because the way Dan Quinn said it, he said we are recalibrating, not rebuilding. So the way he's putting it out there is like we're not going to rebuild.
I know. I mean, you come on. He's playing the fan base as far as trying to get them
He's
motivated.
You called him a con artist.
What he did to the Cowboys defense was abysmal. But come on now. Obviously, he has time. They gave him a multi-year deal, and it's his first year. No one's expecting him to win immediately. I don't care what he says. You got to look at the roster and look at the top teams in the NFC. It's not adding up.
Yeah.
They got some work to do. They got to build through the offseason and through the draft, so they have time. So I think they should go Drake Maye. And plus, you get that Sam Howell kind of, sort of, vet leadership. Maybe he could teach Drake Maye later. Look at my first year starting. And maybe that could honestly help competition-wise. Maybe that lights a fire under Sam Howell. His young homie coming in and trying to take his job. Maybe you could probably flip Sam Howell into draft capital if he puts on a good preseason performance. And the team is the QB needy team is like, I mean, why not throw him a third or a fourth?
I'm just not confident they can develop a Drake Maye, dude. I'm just not, bro. I just don't think it's an ideal situation from a coaching standpoint to a personnel standpoint. I'm just not that confident in the Commanders developing him. I don't think they have the personnel or the coaching to really help him progress overall. And that's what it's going to come down to when you look at these QBs is, does the teams have the people in place to help develop? Because Josh Allen, he didn't look too well. It took time.
But he needed Brian Dable to develop him.
He took time. And I'll say this, though, because I hear the comparisons. When it comes to Drake Maye, I hear, like, Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert was a better prospect than Drake Maye coming out. Because Drake Maye, Drake Maye, the thing with Drake Maye is that his fundamentals in the pocket aren't as consistent as Justin Herbert coming out. Justin Herbert was fantastic when it came to fundamentals coming out. And then also the mistakes, the turnovers. Justin Herbert wasn't as turnover prone as Drake Maye coming out.
That's because Herbert was and still is gun shy.
And so my thing with Drake Maye is that he's turnover prone. He wants to make the home run play a lot of times, which is fine. You could always coach that out of him. But depending on where you go, it could really hurt his growth, and he might not be able to, I'm not going to say stop it, but have it to where it's not as much, it doesn't keep occurring over and over again as you want it to happen. And that's sort of my problem with just Drake Maye and being selected number 2. I think with Jayden Daniels, I think he fits the offense better because he can utilize his legs, and you can run. You can do like running plays for him, just like what they did with Kyler Murray with Cliff. I just am more comfortable with Jayden Daniels with the Commanders than if Drake Maye was with the Commanders, because I think Jayden Daniels is a little bit more dynamic in certain aspects, and they can utilize him in various ways. While Drake Maye, he's gonna have to drop back. I'm not going to say a traditional style quarterback, but he's going to have to be in a more traditional style of being, dropping back 3 to 4 times, 3 to 5 step drop. Like he's going to have to do that. While with Jayden Daniels, you can do a quarterback run plays a certain time, RPOs, do that, all the other stuff. And that's just me. That's just the way I'm looking at it. I could be wrong. I could be always wrong. I like Drake Maye more. When I watch the film, I think he has a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
But the safer pick, in my mind, for the Commanders is Jayden Daniels.
I think they have. I think they can. I think they could take a risk on Drake Maye as far as developing him goes.
You think?
I mean, he'll be. I think he'll be better than Sam Howell out the gate. You kidding me?
Absolutely. Do you think the Commanders are equipped to develop a quarterback?
I don't know because we haven't seen it yet, and this coaching staff is brand new, so I can't really call it. But like I'm saying, just given the time frame, I think they can take that risk.
So let me ask you this. So because there's top 10 picks, right? Top 10 picks. So we have Chicago Commanders. Number 3 is the Patriots. Number 4 is the Cardinals. Number 5 is it the Chargers? Number 5 is probably the Chargers. So. Number 6 is it may be the Titans. Let me check the order real quick.
Tankathon.
Let me check the order real quick. NFL draft order. Let me check the order real quick. Okay. I think I have it.
It's Panthers, Bears, Commanders, Patriots, Cardinals, Chargers. 6 is Giants. 7 is Titans.
8 is Falcons. 9 is Chicago and 10
again.
is Jets. So, and then it's 11 Minnesota. So, like, out of all the teams on this list, the teams that I'm confident with can develop a quarterback of like Drake Maye's stature would be I would say the Falcons, the Vikings,
Saints. I mean, he would never get that
far. I'm not gonna say the Saints. I'm not gonna say the Saints. No. I mean, maybe the Giants because Brian Dable. Maybe. Nah, I wouldn't. Nah, I'm not gonna go with the Giants.
They need to get them receivers up.
I mean, he did make Daniel Jones look good. I will say that.
1 year,
but
until the league caught on and realized he's not that good.
There's only like.
Actually, the Giants would. I think Jayden Daniels would be good on the Giants. All these other teams don't really need QBs.
I mean, if I'm being honest, all these other teams, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, these are not good situations at all. Besides the Falcons, I'm just looking at the top 11 picks, the Vikings, and that's pretty much it. Every other situation is not ideal for a quarter. So if we're going off of that, I mean, I guess the Commanders are probably the best situation for him to go to.
Yeah. Especially in the top 5.
Unless Chicago wants to trade with the Commanders and select the number 2. Besides that, I mean, there's not really.
They're not trading that pick.
Yeah, they're not. They'll be out of their mind. But yeah, man, this is probably. I hate to say, it's probably the best situation. I don't see another situation that's better.
If you're the Falcons, right?
Yeah.
And the Bears trade you Justin Fields, do you trade back from 8 or you pick like an edge guy? Like maybe a Dallas Turner, I think his name, the Alabama edge, or you pick a Liatu. Don't know, is it Liatu? Yeah, Liatu.
Is that the offensive lineman?
The UCLA edge.
Oh, the UCLA.
Or you go O-line.
The Falcons have a pretty decent offensive line.
Most mocks have them taking an edge at 8.
I would say,
which makes sense.
They need speed.
So they should go like
but I don't think they need to go wide receiver this early. They could probably go later on because the receiver is just loaded. I think I might be with you on trading down. They could go Dallas Turner. That probably would make a lot of sense. They need speed on the outside, and their cornerbacks, they could improve on their cornerbacks as well. So they could either go corner or go edge. Maybe get Kool-Aid, McKinstry, or go Dallas Turner.
He's not even the number 1 corner.
So they could. I think
Mitchell is the number 1 corner.
They might be able to get Kool-Aid.
A lot of people like DeJean. the white corner.
Yeah,
a lot of people like him.
Oh yeah, that's another one. So I mean, yeah,
I love draft season so much.
Yeah, me too. Anywho,
in closing, I'm
Yeah.
higher on the Commanders coaching staff now that it's like completely built.
what we just saw from the draft order, maybe they probably are the best option for Drake Maye. I will say the Tennessee Titans did hire Brian Callahan, but they did bring in I think it was Jacksonville's passing game coordinator. So that's not ideal. So maybe that might be another okay-ish situation. But just looking at the other names on the list, you might be right. You might be right when it comes to Drake Maye.
I mean, you got, in my opinion, you got a ceiling coaching staff. Get the ceiling QB at this point.
It just seems like a lot of these quarterbacks are not going to be put in positions where it's going to be ideal. C.J. Stroud was very fortunate.
Yes.
Very fortunate. He had Bobby Slowick and he had D'Amico and stuff. So there's not going to be very many situations where you're going to have those type of situations. And so maybe you're right. Maybe this is probably the best for Drake Maye. We just have to see. All right, well, that'll do it on this episode of the Courtside View podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, and follow the socials. And we will see you guys on the next episode of the Courtside View podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.
Look, cold world, still a cold world. And a couple of y'all is cool, but we a little more thorough. Whole time, a little more girls. You know I spit that sick shit and it's still no cure. Hola, loud packs, look, cold world, still a cold world. And a couple of y'all is cool, but we a little more thorough. Whole time, a little more girls. You know I spit that sick shit and it's still no cure. Hola, loud packs.